Hello and welcome to this interactive video lesson on the 5-part interview process. In this lesson, we will be discussing the 5 distinct parts of an interview and how you can prepare yourself to succeed. First, let's start with the importance of an interview. The interview is the final step in getting a job or being admitted to a college or scholarship program. It is time for you to showcase your skills, knowledge, and experience to the interviewer. However, even if you have an impressive application or resume, it may not be enough to secure the position if you do not come across well in the interview. This is why it's crucial to become a salesperson and present yourself in the best possible light. Now, let's move on to the 5 parts of an interview. Here we'll be discussing the first step of the process before an interview. Before the interview, there are several things that you should do to prepare yourself. In this video, we will discuss some of the most important things you should do to ensure that you are fully prepared for your interview. Do your homework. The first thing you need to do before an interview is to research the company or college you're interviewing with. You can ask people who work there, go to the library, look on the internet, or make an anonymous call to the secretary. By doing so, you'll get to know about the company's products or services, how long they have been in business, whether the company is growing or downsizing, and the company's reputation. This information will help you answer questions during the interview and impress your interviewer. Know where you are going. The second thing you need to do is to know where you are going. You should drive by the site of the interview a day or two before the interview to avoid getting lost on the day of the interview. Make sure you know how to get there and how much time it will take to reach the location. Arrive at the interview location 5 to 15 minutes early. Be prepared. The third thing you need to do is to be prepared when you go to the interview. You should bring extra copies of your resume, a notepad with some questions prepared for the interview, and a pen. Make sure you have all the necessary documents in a folder, so you don't have to search for them during the interview. Dress for success. The fourth thing you need to do is to dress appropriately for the interview. Hair should be clean and combed, fingernails must be clean with no gaudy polish, and you should keep perfume, cologne, and aftershave to a minimum. Brush your teeth and don't forget deodorant. Women should wear a dress, skirt, not too short, or dress pants with a nice blazer. Avoid wearing excessive jewelry, makeup, or big hair. Men should wear pants, not jeans, a collared shirt, a tie, a sport coat, and shoes. A suit is not always necessary. Do not wear loud clothes, be conservative. Here is the second step of the 5-part interview process, the start of the interview. Let's dive into the points that we'll be covering in this part of the lesson. When you arrive for your interview, it's important to check in with the secretary or receptionist. Let them know that you have an interview and with whom, and the time of the interview. This shows that you're punctual and respectful of other people's time. When you meet your interviewer, it's important to make a great first impression. Look straight into their eyes, shake their hand firmly, and introduce yourself with confidence. Remember to smile and wait until you're offered a seat before sitting down. During the interview, it's important to be positive and upbeat in your communication. Remember, you're selling yourself, so it's important to showcase your strengths and abilities. Avoid slouching and try not to be too bold or too shy. Let the interview lead the interview and express your enthusiasm for the opportunity to interview. Sometimes, interviews can be nerve-wracking, but don't forget to smile. A smile can go a long way in making a positive impression and showing your confidence. Don't smoke, chew gum, curse, slouch, put your hands on items on the interview's desk, or fidget with rings, pens, ties, change, or other things in your reach. Let's now discuss the third step of the 5-part interview process, the interview. In this step, you'll learn how to present yourself in the best possible light and avoid common interview mistakes. Let's dive in. First, it's important to always face the interviewer with good posture and body language. This shows that you're engaged and interested in the conversation. Additionally, stay positive with your attitude and your answers. Let the interviewer know about the skills, knowledge, and experience that make you a qualified candidate. It's crucial to know your resume well and be prepared to answer questions about that. However, don't be a know-it-all. Express your willingness to learn and be open to feedback. It's also essential to be honest with all your answers. Experienced interviewers can see right through little white lies. Be thorough with your answers, never answering with just a yes or no. Always provide explanations and examples. If you don't understand the question, ask the interviewer to explain. Pay close attention to what the interviewer is saying. Organize your thoughts before speaking. Feel free to think for a moment about tough questions. Silence is not a bad thing as long as you do not take an excessive amount of time. Watch for illegal questions, such as information about your age, religion, race, ethnicity, or marital status. Don't emphasize your weaknesses or draw attention to negative attributes such as poor attendance, grades, being fired, etc. It's important not to criticize former employers, co-workers, or school personnel. Additionally, don't discuss personal issues, good or bad, which are irrelevant. Don't discuss salary or benefits unless the interviewer brings it up first. Remember that you represent a risk to the employer. A hiring mistake is expensive. Show you are highly motivated and energetic. Now, let's deep dive into the fourth step of the interview process, which is the interview. So, you've prepared for the interview and now you're sitting across from the interviewer, ready to answer their questions. But what about your own questions? It's important to ask job-related questions you prepared for the interview. If you impress the interviewer, they may offer you the job on the spot. If that happens, it's important to ask about specific details such as salary, benefits, and work hours. However, you don't have to give them an immediate answer. Take a day to think about it and make sure it's the right decision for you. If you're told you will be contacted, ask about how long it will take to hear back from them. It's also a good idea to offer to call in a few days to find out the decision. This shows your continued interest in the job. Make sure the interviewer knows how best to contact you and that you are available for any additional information that may be needed. This will demonstrate your professionalism and willingness to go the extra mile. Before leaving the interview, remember to thank the person for their time and interest in you as a potential employee or student. Shake hands firmly on the way out and leave a good impression. In the final step of the 5-part interview process, the follow-up, we'll be discussing the importance of following up after a job or college interview and the steps you can take to do so effectively. First and foremost, it's essential to send a thank you letter to the interviewer soon after the interview. This can be done via email or traditional mail, but the key is to express your gratitude for the opportunity and reiterate your interest in the position or program. By doing so, you show that you are thoughtful, professional, and enthusiastic about the opportunity. But what happens after the thank you letter? Well, it's a good idea to follow up with the company or college about a week after the interview. This can be done over the phone or through email, but the goal is to inquire about the status of your application and express your continued interest in the opportunity. If the company or college has made a decision, they will let you know. However, if they haven't, it's perfectly acceptable to ask when they expect to have a decision. This shows that you are proactive and eager to move forward with the process. Additionally, it gives you a timeline to work with and allows you to plan accordingly. In this part of the lesson, we will be discussing the most common reasons that candidates fail to land a job. Let's start with the first reason: poor personal appearance. It is essential to make a good first impression when attending an interview, and your appearance plays a crucial role in that. Dressing professionally and being well-groomed will help you create a positive impression on the interviewer. Moving on to the second reason, inability to communicate clearly, poor voice, and grammar. Effective communication skills are crucial in today's workplace, and employers expect their employees to be able to communicate their ideas and thoughts effectively. Speaking clearly and using correct grammar are essential during an interview. The third reason why people aren't hired is a lack of planning for a career. If you don't have a clear career path and goals in mind, it may be challenging to convince employers that you are the right fit for the job. It's important to have a plan in place and communicate it effectively during the interview. Next up, lack of enthusiasm and confidence during the interview. Employers want to see candidates who are passionate about their work and confident in their abilities. Being enthusiastic and confident during the interview will help you stand out from other candidates. Another reason why people aren't hired is condemning past employers. Speaking negatively about previous employers during the interview is a sure way to turn off potential employers. It's important to keep your comments positive and professional. Moving on to body language, failure to look the interviewer in the eye, having a limp handshake, and being late to the interview are all significant turn-offs for employers. These behaviors suggest that you are not serious about the job and can create a negative impression on the interviewer. Finally, asking no questions and having a lack of knowledge about the business or the position are also common reasons why people aren't hired. It's essential to research the company and the position thoroughly and prepare questions in advance to show your interest and engagement. In conclusion, it's important to be aware of these common reasons why people aren't hired and take steps to avoid them. Remember to dress professionally, communicate clearly and confidently, be enthusiastic, and show a genuine interest in the job and the company. Thank you for watching this interactive video lesson, and good luck with your job search.